Oh man, this is wild. I had to talk about this. So we all know that Kyler Murray just recently got a deal, a 5-year extension worth $230.5 million, 160 of that guaranteed, an average of $46.1 million a year, which is the second highest among all active quarterbacks right now in the league. We get the gist of that. However, we found out something very interesting recently. Apparently, the Arizona Cardinals put a very interesting clause in that contract. I like to call it the homework clause. Some people will call it the Jamarcus Russell clause. However you take it is however you take it. But basically, the Cardinals sat back and put in a clause that requires Kyler Murray to do at least 4 hours of independent study a week, every single week this season. That is wild. That is crazy. The fact that the Cardinals have a clause in this contract, and the fact that that got out, that makes everybody look bad. That makes the Cardinals look bad because you gave him that money. That makes Kyler look bad because it looks like he's a quarterback that's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as a quarterback. And all in all, everyone just looks bad. This is a really embarrassing situation for both Kyler and the Cardinals. What makes the situation worse is that Kyler is on record saying that he's not the type of person that's gonna kill himself watching film all day. That's not what he's doing. You know, he feels he's blessed with the cognitive ability and skills to be able to read and see what's happening on the field. So he doesn't feel the need to be watching film like that. That whole quote came out, what was it, sometime last year? So he's on the record saying he's not the type of guy that's going to spend all that time watching film. And now you get this clause in here that's requiring him to watch film on his own time. Now, we've heard tons of story about Kyler's immaturity or tons of story about his lack of leadership. There's been all sorts of stories and rumors that have gone out over the last couple of seasons. So having something like this in the clause just makes him look worse. And it makes the organization look bad because you just gave him all that money. How are you going to guarantee him $160 million? Give him a 5-year contract worth $230 plus million. He's guaranteed 160 of that. You gave him that contract, but you have to put a clause in there that requires him to do independent film study? Do you understand how bad that looks? Oh, man. And Kyler is... This year is about to be rough, man. I hope Kyler comes out here and has a great season, man, but he's gonna get roasted. He's gonna get roasted by the fans. He's gonna get roasted by other players because essentially he was gifted homework. They're like, here, Kyler, you can have this money if you do your homework every single week. And we're gonna track that because they have the iPads, and I believe they can track the amount of time you spend or the amount of activity that's happening on the iPad. So they're going to be able to track whether or not Kyler is actually doing the film study. But man, this is, oh boy, this season's about to be rough, especially if it doesn't go well for Kyler. Oh boy, man, wherever he goes, every road game, you're going to have fans mentioning the fact that this clause is a thing. They're going to be chanting homework. You're going to have defenders every time Kyler lines up. You're going to have defenders, especially in his own division. You're going to have defenders on the Niners, bro, defenders on the Rams and the Seahawks. It's going to be every game they play. Somebody's going to look at Kyler and say, hey, yo, Kyler, did you make sure to do your homework this week? It's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. This is really crazy to think. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where a quarterback signs a contract and there's a clause in there that requires him to do what he's supposed to already be doing. You know, every player has to watch film, but as the quarterback, your main thing to do, your main part of the job is to watch film. That is what you're supposed to do as a quarterback. Watch film. How are you supposed to understand certain concepts and what you're seeing from your opponent's defense if you're not watching film? How are you supposed to improve on reading defenses and being able to anticipate what they're trying, what type of look they're throwing out there, what type of coverage they're trying to throw out there? How are you going to be able to determine that if you're not watching film and reading the coverages? How are you supposed to do that? That's why you watch film. That's what you're supposed to do. That's one of the main functions a quarterback is supposed to do. That's part of your job. And I'm sure Kyler's probably watching film, but considering the fact that this clause is in the contract, he's not watching enough film. He's not. Because there's no reason they would put this in the contract if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. They didn't put nothing like that in Mahomes' contract. Allen didn't deal with none of that. Deshaun Watson didn't get that in his clause. No one's worried about these guys watching film, but Kyler, legitimately, they put this clause in there because they are concerned that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as a quarterback. And that's wild. Now, I ain't gonna lie, bro. My mind is just like spinning. So many different ideas and so many questions that I have about this situation. Because I'm just thinking, how are they gonna know he's actually like studying film? Are they gonna give him like assessments? Like, is he gonna come into practice, and when they're having their meeting, are they gonna just take him away and just give him like a quiz or some sort of assessment to see if he's actually watching film? Is it gonna be like, all right, bro, this is a multiple choice question or fill in the blank type exam here. We need you to tell us what coverage was this. When you watched this film, what did you see here? What coverage was it? What was the look? What was the play that was supposed to be made? What adjustment did you need to make? What set do you want? Like, are they gonna ask these type of questions? Is he gonna be tested every single week? Are they gonna be passing out worksheets to make sure he's like filling them out? Oh my God, like, I'm just imagining I'm really imagining the lengths that the Cardinals are willing to go to prove that Kyler is going to be doing this. Because like, at the end of the day, if you just tell him to go home and watch film and just be active, he can have the film running, but it doesn't mean he's watching it. He could be doing other things. So like, how far are they willing to go to make sure Kyler's doing this? Because like, he can always have the iPad running with the film and trying to mess with it while also doing what he's doing. You know, if he's busy playing games or doing something else, he could easily do that. I don't think Kyler will do that, but like, how would they know whether or not Kyler's actually watching film? Oh man, this season, he's really gonna be assessed. Because every game he plays good, people are going to be like, well, looks like he watched film this week. He actually did his homework. He studied. And every time he plays bad, look, this guy was too busy playing video games. He didn't study. He didn't do his homework this week. That's why he was trash. That's how it's going to be this season. You've essentially made yourself and your quarterback look bad in this situation. Wow, this is crazy. I've never seen something like this before. I've never seen an organization have a contract like this where they put in a clause where they have their quarterback be required to, where they have their quarterback. I've just never seen something like this. A situation where they put in a clause that requires their quarterback to study film. Like, they are requiring him to study film on his own time because they don't trust in him. And they put a time limit too. And the fact that it's only 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week of film study? Really? 4 hours a week? That's like, what, 40, 45 minutes a day? That's crazy, man. And we're only saying that for like, what, 5-6 days because they would have to play on Sunday. He would start Monday all the way through Saturday, and Sunday he wouldn't have to watch film. But that's crazy to think about. 4 hours a week they're requiring of this dude. This is just not a good look for Kyler. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a good look for Kyler. It's not a good look for the Cardinals. And this is just embarrassing. Everybody's looking bad all around. Arizona is a laughingstock today because of this situation, and it's been quite the interesting one. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. I didn't really have any sort of format for this. I just want to get my thoughts out because I've been thinking about this all day, and it's been wild. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.